I want to be as helpful as possible for you in terms of preparing for your standard ordination exams. And so here are both some resources and some thoughts about the preparation part of it, particularly around the church polity exam, although as you'll see, it actually I think applies to at least two of the other exams. Just a reminder of the polity of these exams. They come from G20607, which is the section of the Book of Order that governs your preparation for ordination. And D says that we all are to provide evidence of readiness, which shall include examination materials together with evaluations that declare those materials satisfactory in the areas covered by any standard ordination exam approved by the General Assembly. Those used to be named in the Book of Order. Now they're not, I think, to give some flexibility, but the authority is still lodged in the General Assembly. And then there is a body created by the presbyteries. It's called the Presbyteries Cooperating Committee on Examination, and it's presbyteries in the plural as presbyteries work together for these. I will also remind you that there is a section just below G20607, G20610, which is accommodations to particular circumstances, which gives presbyteries the ability to have latitude around a number of the evidences that need to be provided, and to do the examination with you still have to do the examinations. You can exempt people from the examinations, but it's possible to do them in a different way if people aren't good at writing, if they're having trouble. And so often presbyteries have a process in place that will help them to know when it would be time to talk with somebody about a different way to do these examinations. And I wanted you to know that. There are right now 5 exams. There's the Bible content exam, the theological competence exam, the worship and sacraments exam, the church polity exam, and the biblical exegesis exam. The Bible content exam is multiple choice and is often taken early on in seminary, but needs to be passed no matter when. Then there are 3 what I would call case study / essay exams, which is the theology, worship and sacraments, and church polity exams. And then the biblical exegesis has the examinee work on a particular Old Testament or New Testament text. You're given a choice, and then to write a sermon or a sermon outline, I think, around that. What I'm going to say here has mainly to do with those middle 3, how to prepare for those with a focus on the church polity exams, because their process and what they ask people to do is very similar. Here are some resources, and this would be for all your exams. There is a website that's created by the Office of the General Assembly. If you Google Presbyterian Church USA or PCUSA standard ordination exams, this will come up and you can find it. I can certainly send you the link, but I want you to know there's a whole website that's available that's got resources. It's where you go to see the schedule, to register, and they have preparation help. And that's really your main resource in terms of official help to get ready. You, of course, have people you know, Reverend Dr. Randy Riggs, who's at Lancaster Seminary. You have me, and you've got your CPM. And your CPM are people who are on your side in terms of preparation for this. Ask them for help. There are old exams, which are available online. Right now, there's a link through the Office of General Assembly website. The Louisville Presbyterian Seminary actually has, for a long time, maintained the old exams. And they're available for you to practice, to see what kind of questions there are. Please be aware of changes to the Book of Order. So you don't want to study things that ask questions around the old form of government, and these exams go back that far. And be careful now, there's a new directory for worship. So just in terms of if they've got specific citations there for the Book of Order, those may or may not be accurate anymore. There is also a PDF from the Office of General Assembly. I've attached it so that you've got it. It's actually up under core documents, but I've included it under week 10 as well. And it's also available on that website from the Office of General Assembly as they continue to modify it. So you've got lots of good resources. Here are my suggestions. Read the question carefully and then do what it asks you to do. Definitely not less, probably not more. Let me say it again. Read the question carefully. Let me say it again. Read the question carefully, and then answer the question completely. I have graded exams the single biggest problem that people have is they don't read the question carefully, and thus they don't do everything that it asks to do. Readers have latitude in terms of saying, oh yeah, that's within a way to answer it. It might not be the only way. It might not be what that particular person would have done. But if it says provide 5 citations from the Book of Order and you've got 2, you haven't answered the question. It's the quickest route to failing the exam. So read the question carefully, answer the question completely. Under the short answers, if you are asked to provide a list of 3 ways or 3 places in the directory for worship that something happens, I'd suggest thinking of it as a series of short answers. For example, if you're asked about expectations of presbyters, there are many expectations of presbyters. Here are 5 of them, and then make a list so that they see that you have done 5 distinct ways. The key here, if you're not asked to explain, don't explain them, but provide more than just a list of citations. Let the reader know which parts of the paragraph to which you're referring. You need a quote and some context for the quote that indicates that you understand it. Also, don't just cut and paste from the Book of Order, but provide actual context that shows that you understand. If you're responding to a situation, then write it as if you're writing an essay response to a case study. Think of what you would say and how to say it. I think the key here is that you want to respond in a way that points to the polity and also cares for people. I recommend starting saying something like, if this is an essay in response to elder training where a person elected but not yet ordained says we need to start having a congregational vote on the budget. So first thing I'd do is thank Raphael for asking the question, and I'd make sure I understood it. I'd affirm him for interest in being a competent elder and for caring for the congregation. Then I'd have us look at this, which explains what business comes before the congregation, and I'd explain it. My response would be longer than that, but it gives you a template to understand. You want to thank the person, you want to affirm the person, you want to say, I'd make sure I understood this. You can either respond directly, here's what I'd say, and write a response, or you can say, I'd respond to Raphael by doing these things. Bonus, I think that it's always good to make a connection back to the foundation section if it makes sense to do so. If the question asks for 5 places in the directory for worship where teaching elders need to make a decision, don't give a citation for the foundation section. You've been directed to the directory for worship. But if the question says, what are the requirements for membership? Why do these requirements exist? Definitely, I would recommend going to the foundation section as well as the clear place where it's talked about. I hope that helps. In terms of study, know the structure of the Book of Order, know the connections between the sections of the Book of Order, learn the index, learn how to use the search function on a Book of Order PDF, and then breathe, breathe, breathe. You all have done excellent work in terms of preparation. You know this, you've read the material, and you will do really, really well. Thanks. I'm available for you. God bless you, and I look forward to the future.